Good evening and welcome everybody to another edition of the Music and Mixing Show. I'm your host DJ Michael Joseph, and tonight I'm going to tick some people off. I know it. Tonight is about change, and a lot of people don't like change, especially DJs, but we'll get into that. If you've never seen the show before, at the top of the hour, we always welcome people into the show, give a shout out where they're from, their DJ company, their DJ name, etc., so on and so forth. So we're going to take a couple minutes, and we're going to say hello to everybody. I got to say hello to Fly Robin because she jumped into the chat like way before it started. John Jazz came in. Jimmy Ray came in. What's going on from Texas? DJ Spin from Berkeley, MA. Todd is Steep. What's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. I haven't seen you talk to you guys in a while either. Thank you, Spin. Appreciate that. See who else is in here. John Jazz is from Maryland. Robin is from Florida. John Colley's from Boston. I have to say that every time, even though he really doesn't talk with that much of a Boston accent. Definitely doing a shout out again. Feel free to jump in the chat and let me know where you're from, because I really like to see where everybody tunes in, because this show we tend to get a lot of international viewers, so appreciate that. I believe we're getting a sports argument on there. DC Entertainment's in the house. Is it still DC Entertainment? That's the question. DJ Ohm said raise the volume. I'm almost up into the red. Is anybody else having trouble hearing me? Let's talk about that. See if anybody's having trouble hearing me. If not, if that's so, I'll turn it up. But I am good here. Definitely waiting to hear everybody. Again, if you've never seen the show before, I take a couple minutes, welcome everybody in, and then we get to tonight's topic. DJ Wynn from Boston, what's going on? Some of them are coming in as just Facebook users, so if I don't see a name, I'll just say Facebook user and where you're from. So Facebook user Boston, Alberudnu from Louisiana, Jimmy Spin from North Kakalaka. Jimmy, I'm glad you're here tonight because you were one of the people that made a comment on the post I just did about the controller that Numark came out with. I want to talk about that tonight. You and I know you are a equipment connoisseur. You spent a lot of years using a lot of different pieces of equipment. And you and I have similar taste in what we like out of DJ equipment, but we're going to talk about some of the new stuff tonight. Jimmy said he's originally from upstate New York. Okay. Massachusetts. Oh, Dan. Now I'm seeing Dan's name. There you go. Welcome, Dan. He's from Pennsylvania, the other side of the state. Higgs from Beth from Limelight, DJ, Karaoke, Southern Illinois. Welcome. H-Town, Texas. Max, what's going on? Everybody, they're doing well. We have so many people tuned in tonight. I'm so excited. This is going to be a good night. I'm not going to dilly-dally very long. We are definitely going to talk about some stuff that is going to tick some people off tonight. So to begin with, the title of the show is Laptops and MP3s are so 2011. The reason I say that is because Numark has come out with a new controller this past week. I'll share this with you in case you have not seen it. We go left screen. Here we go. It is an all-in-one, and we're going to open this image in a new tab. All right, so here it is. It is an all-in-one controller, meaning that you do not need to have a laptop to make it run. You will either put thumb drives, because there are two USB-A slots in the back, and one, is it a USB-C, I think, is the other one, in the back. And you can run thumb drives, hard drives, anything like that out of this. And it is a standalone. Now, Jimmy did make a comment about down here at the bottom. I don't know if you see it or not, like under here where I'm at. Those are speakers. This is intended for a beginner DJ. This is intended for someone getting into it or someone using this as they travel so that they can edit stuff in here while they're on the road, because this is a standalone by itself. It is very close to the Denon Prime Go, battery operated sort of thing like that. And this is a lot of what the future's going to, so much so, in case you don't know, while I was sitting and waiting, I found an article here from Monster, as in Monster Cable, if I'm correct, Talking about the top, they're talking about the best standalones for sound. What we're going to do is we're going to look through all of them, and just in case you don't know what a standalone is, in my opinion, there are two different things. There's a standalone player and a standalone unit. A standalone player is like the Denon 8000, meaning that you have to take that thumb drive or hard drive and put it in a computer and run it through software on the computer before you can take that thumb drive or hard drive and put it in the device. A standalone unit, you don't have to go to the computer first. You can just have a random bunch of music on a drive, put it in there, and it will, you know, scan it, identify it, all that kind of stuff. So those are the kind of the two differences there. But we are going to talk a little bit about everything there. DJ G Mobile from Willow Springs, just trying to make sure I do shout outs to everyone there as they're coming in. Thank you for the title. We are going to talk about backups for laptops. That's good. I love how you guys are throwing stuff out there. But one of the biggest ones that I did have in the studio for about 3 weeks, got to spin on it also at the DJ Expo in the Denon booth, is the Denon Prime 4. This one here it's full-fledged, as full-fledged you can get. Heavy. It is heavy and expensive. We're going to keep rolling down. This is the Numark Mix Stream Pro. The one they just put out is a standalone. I haven't even got hands on it yet. I only saw a few videos. The Gemini Sound GMX standalone. I'm just going to roll through what some of the standalones are in there. Gemini SDJ 4000, which I got to play on that once. The Roland DJ controller, got to mess with it a little bit there. The ADJ, this is an older one, ADJ VM S5. The Denon Prime series with the standalones, which a lot of people are liking these, both with the screen, because they make a version with a screen and without a screen, and you can hook that up to the mixer they have that has the standalone capabilities, and you're able to mix with it. This is a really old one. I had a friend years ago that loved to use the Numark NDX 500 because it took everything. So if something crashed, he had one of those off to the side, even when he used a laptop. For the purpose that he always had a backup of everything just in case at weddings. The Akai Professional Force, that one runs on its own. Numark Mix Express, I know there's a couple people that use that also as a backup. The Denon Prime 2 is not in there amongst that. There's the Pioneer XDJ RX2. There is, did we mention that one already? The RZ. What was some of the other ones there that they had? These are not standalones. But there is a lot out there right now that is part of the standalones. And that's why I talk about that it's changing. Because I remember when people switched from vinyl to CDs. And how many people said, oh, no one will ever be caught dead using CDs. What kind of respectable DJ would ever use CDs? And they use CDs. And then after that, they started using laptops with Serato and on vinyl. And I can't tell you on both sides of the people who say, oh, no one will ever use a laptop to DJ from on vinyl. And the other people who were trying it were getting bashed by them. And they were, all this thing, the whole scene. If you want to see some of how this went down, Serato, was it Serato or... Yeah, Serato put out a documentary a couple years ago talking to some of the old-timers. I would say old-timers, but some of the early people who adopted that. Jazzy J, Jazzy Jeff, DJ AM, a bunch of guys like that. And how they got kind of like beat up verbally by other DJs who said that they were faking as a DJ using a laptop. And then we went from laptops to standalones. And now people are using the standalones with that new Numark. You're able to do it through Wi-Fi. And you're able to play music off, streaming through that device with nothing else. And that's the unique thing that people don't think that this is catching on. It's the same thing when CDs. No one will ever use a CD. And people now are saying no one will ever stream their entire set online. I'll get into how I use it later, but I promise you people are, because a friend of mine had DJs at this big giant club in a college town. I mean, it's like 750 people is their capacity. And they had a special event where all these DJs come in from around the country, and one DJ came in, said, what's the Wi-Fi password? And he's like, there is no Wi-Fi here. He goes, well, how am I supposed to do my set without Wi-Fi? And he didn't it was everything online. And this guy tours this way. And he ended up getting a hotspot off somebody and doing his set that way. So if you don't think it's there, and if you don't think it's going to be in the future, it's going to be in the future. And that's why I titled the thing that, you know, using laptops and MP3s are so 2011, because that was what was really being accepted in 2011. It really was not odd to see DJs, and nobody was hassling the DJs who were using laptops. So as things change, people who use the streaming services, whether it be all the time or part of the time, are going to get hassled. And in the future, everybody who hassled them is going to be using them to some extent. Things change. And the reason I put this topic up tonight is because that controller came out, made me start to see how many of them are that way. Like I said, I've had some of them here in the studio, got to use them. I'm not there yet for them because a couple of the places I DJ, I'm required to spin videos, and none of the standalones will allow you to play videos. So that's like a crew, when they cross that path where I don't have to chop up my music library and either convert the video files over to MP3s or separate them or anything like that. When I'm able to just take a hard drive, plug it into an all-in-one, and if I want to do an HDMI to do video, I can. If I want to do audio only, I'll do audio only. When they get to that, that's something that I might consider maybe. It's possible. I think there are other things that are going to bridge the gap with that ahead of time. Those of you who know, I recently picked up a couple, believe it or not, a couple of Pioneer DJ SB3s. So this is the SB3 in a case, kind of small, nothing big. So I can walk in with that SB3, and I'm going to be doing a video on this. And this is a Microsoft Surface Go, so it's basically a Windows tablet, more or less. And I have virtual on here, and in the back, they allow you to put a micro SD card right there, and a 400 megabyte micro SD card, and I have a bunch of music there, and I can go out, power this up, put that thing, because the SB3 runs off of USB power with this and that, so I can go out places and attach. I have a cable that goes from the RCA outs to XLRs, and I don't use this as my main, but this is a backup system with just this little bit here that I can throw it in the back of the car, and if things crash, I know I can still get through the night. And that's where I think the gap is going to be bridged first, where a lot of you are going to start using these types of things as secondary units, maybe playing music in another room or something like that. That's where I think that a lot of you who don't like it may bridge the gap to have a simple no fuss kind of thing that can operate separate, or as like I said, as an emergency backup. Now that will work with my computer, so if my controller goes down, having this with me, I can finish the night with that. That is a very capable controller for DJing off of. It's small, but emergency, and vice versa. If my DJ computer goes down, I have that I can plug in. I might look a little stupid. I might have to take my time. I can't do video on that because it's not powerful enough on that one to do video. I do have a backup computer, but this is 2 down from the backup computer. But I'm saying with something that small that I can carry with me. And that's kind of the future, the way things are going. You're going to see, and I'm not joking, Serato is going to be putting out a mobile version of their software to be used the same way you use it on your laptop, to be used on a tablet like an iPad. So you're going to be able to hook up external hard drives or whatever to your, or if you can get one that has enough memory in the tablet, and you can be DJing off a tablet. Larry Halls talks about files, services, the FLAC, the no loss audio kind of things. That's also where I say about that I just want to be able to take my drive with MP3s, MP4s, MPEGs, FLACs, lossless files, everything that's in there that I've put together over the years, that I can just plug it into a unit and just play it like I do on a laptop. That's where I kind of want to see that gap. But that's why I'm saying that a lot of people, if you don't kind of learn to embrace it, you might get left behind, and you also might be missing out on a tool that can help you. Now, I'm going to show the way that I use the streaming services. And again, it's something I've decided to do. If you don't decide to do it, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I want to show you how I use them. I'm a full-time DJ. This is all I do. And these things are write-offs for me, so everything that I pay for is a write-off. And I'm going to also talk, after I talk about this, I want to talk about getting music and how that's changing from where it used to be. Let me do left screen here. Okay, so this is virtual. I'm going to do zoomed in. All right, so over here on this side, up at the top, you can see online music. And virtual allows you to have all of these. This includes BeatSource, BeatLink, SoundCloud Go Plus, Deezer, Tidal, and these top three are virtual ones that you can only get through virtual. It's iDJ Pool's MP3 music service, VDJ Pro's video service, and Digitrack's karaoke service. Now, what I do is that I have a lifetime subscription to Static City Remix, which is a big DJ site for music. I have a yearly subscription through BPM Supreme. That's where I get a lot of my stuff. I like it a lot. And then I pay for two on here on the streaming services. I pay for iDJ Pool and Deezer. Deezer is exactly like Spotify, but it actually has more songs but less subscribers. So anything I play here would be the versions that you would hear on Spotify, like album versions. But the iDJ Pool is set for... if you look here, it's going to show you DJ versions of things, quick mix, explicit, clean, and that's what this one's for. So it tailors me that I have both, okay? But what I use them for is that when I'm out and I get some sort of request that I may not have, because I do not travel with a lot of stuff. I'm telling you that. I travel with way less than half a terabyte, and I do just fine with that. I grab stuff from here if it's odd ones, weird ones, and I'm almost never at a loss with this. I go back into my thing, left screen. We're going to go to List and Advice, History. We're going to look at here. Let me find a page here with a bunch of stuff. There's some pages where I was doing some stuff. Okay. All right, so as we scroll down here, I'm looking for little green marks, like right there. Okay, that's a song that I played a streaming service. So what that means is that all I have to do is go back at the history from the night and say, okay, I know I played this song offline and it's something that I wanted to do, and I go, oh, I'll just go download it. So I end up getting it for myself afterwards. And that's one of the things I love about DJing with software is that I can't tell you how many years of DJing that I would play a song and then an hour later play the same song because I forgot that I played it. With my memory and songs and how I can remember details of songs, I forget if I played it the last hour. But with the software, it puts a little mark there showing me that I played it, but I can also then go back and look at what I played, what order, all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the things I do is I use those streaming services for those catch little songs. And if I feel I want them, I go back and look at it and go download it. That's all it takes, and it's as simple as that. One of the things that I want to talk about, Virtual also does this. Oops, I almost closed that. Virtual also does this, but we're going to talk about something different. We talked about BPM Supreme before. It's one of the ones that I have a yearly subscription for. You guys have heard of like Crate Hackers and stuff like that. Well, BPM Supreme is doing that with theirs. You pay an extra, I forget what it is, like $6 a month or something. And what it is that they have all these lists for you. So if you want a list for something, like right now they have a lot of Halloween stuff up there, obviously. But if you want to look at different trends and different things going on, like I'm not subscribed to these, so I can't click in them and see the actual songs. But we can see some of the crates that are there. Some of the packs that you can get. Curated lists, house music, Halloween. This is stuff I'm guessing is praise and worship stuff. That's kind of neat. Classic hip hop. So if you don't know stuff, you can use this thing that they do nowadays with pretty much all the services have it. I'm just pointing them out because I have access to them. But all the services have a thing that if you don't know about a certain type of music, you're able to go and get a list of those songs. And through the services like this, you can not only get the list, but you can just click and download the entire list. That takes, like I said, things are changing to where my generation, you had not only had to have your songs, but you had to know your songs. And you had to know your genre. So if you're doing a night where you had older people and you had to play music from several decades back, you had to know that stuff. You couldn't just go get a list. And this has changed all of that in the DJ industry. And it's something where, when I say older DJs, I'm talking about people my age, okay? So just nobody be offended. That's the thing that has changed, where this next generation is jumping on this. And even though they may not have the knowledge you have, they have the knowledge that someone else put there that they can then take and use. Like I've said years ago with Google, you don't need to know so much. You just need to know where to go look for it. And that's kind of what this whole thing has been about. So not only has our equipment and all these other things that we use changing in the way that we DJ, the music that we touch has changed. Where we get them from has changed. How we get them, how we find them, that has all changed. Now, one of the things that several of the services do, and I'll go back to here, and then I'm going to take some questions, because I see a lot of people dropping questions in the chat. That's good. We're going to get to that. So let's say I throw, I want to play Empire State of Mind. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and on these things that Virtual has here on the left, let me zoom in so you can see it. One of the things is, let me find it here. Nope, it's not that one. Where's it at? Lists. All right, so you have Genius DJ and Ask the DJ. And these are services that are put together through Virtual. And like I said, other softwares have them. I'm just pointing it out in Virtual. Other ones have them. That you can take a song, drop it into these folders, and then it will give you a list. Because like guys like me, we will let our play what we've played that night, the history, upload. A lot of Serato guys take their history and let it upload to Serato. And what this does is that it takes all of those histories and takes the song that you put in there and looks at what everyone else played after it, and then they give you a list of the most popular songs that were played the most times after the song that you're playing. And again, if you don't know stuff, you can find it out this way. And we'll go back here in a second, see if I can do this. It probably won't work this time, so we're going to go Genius DJ. Oops, let's go back here. I'm going to do this. We're going to do... it's still browsing here. Hold on, give me 1 second. Empire will come up. Come on. There we go. Empire State of Mind. We're going to drag a couple over here into the holding area. And then we're going to go into the Genius DJ, and we're going to drop one of those in here. And now it's given me what most people have played after Empire State of Mind by Alicia Keys and Jay-Z. And it's kind of interesting, the ones that they've said there. This is also sorted by my play count right there. So if we go up here, and we can look at different things, and you can also put the order they were played. But these are all songs that people have played after that. So again, if you don't necessarily know something, if you want to take something from the 80s and do that same sort of thing, it gives you the ability to look that up. And like I said, a lot of different softwares have this. It's not just Virtual. But that's why I say that things are changing in this industry in a lot of ways that we do stuff. Like I said, I saw it change when it went from records to CDs, when it went from CDs to laptops. No one will ever use a controller. People use controllers. Now they're doing the all-in-ones where you don't need a laptop with built-in Wi-Fi that you can stream from. So things change, and I want you to at least look at them to see if they might help you do your job. I'm not telling you to jump into it, but I'm telling you, again, I think I'm speaking more to the people my age, because I told you that story of the kid that came to a club. I don't want to say kid, he was an adult over 21, to play, and he needed to play his set off of Wi-Fi. Now, you and I may look at that and go, that's not very responsible. You know, you need to have your stuff. But that's a generation that's embracing it already. I mean, there's a lot of young people out there who don't own songs of any sort. They rent them. You know, I do too. I'm a subscriber. Besides being a subscriber to these things, again, these are all write-offs for my business. I also subscribe to YouTube Music because I like YouTube Music more than Spotify, because on YouTube Music, I can get full DJ sets. Somebody will do a full set of like Chill Out House, and I can play that whole set using YouTube Music as opposed to doing it over on Spotify where they're going to be individual songs. So I just like YouTube Music better. I still pay $9 a month for that one. It just fits me, and I enjoy it a lot. But this again is how our future is going in this business, and I want you to think about it. Now, I'm going to try to go to the chat, answer some questions. If you have any questions about the stuff that I talked about, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but I want to hit a couple that I've seen people throw up there. Someone asked, can you download from Deezer? The two streaming services, and again, different ones are different. SoundCloud Go Plus is different than I'm blanking on the names. It is different from Beat Source Link or Beat Port Link. Those allow you only so many to be played offline. The iDJ Pool lets you do unlimited offline, but you have to that computer has to log on at least once a month to show that you still have a subscription to continue to play it. Deezer, because it is a play service just like Spotify, you cannot play anything offline. You have to have it online. Now what I mean by that is if I load that song up to play, as soon as that waveform loads, my computer could go offline and I could still play that song. And I'll show you that real quick here. Left screen, we're going to go to iDJ Pool, and the monkey song was up and I want to grab it here. So we're going to grab that, drop it up here, watch it load. Okay, that's actually kind of slow for it to load. This computer is, I'm streaming stuff out and stuff. So right now, if I lost internet connection, right now, this song would still play beginning to end. I can put the marks in there, all the sort of hot cues, and they will stay there. But these will go offline. Where Deezer, on the other hand, you have to it has to be online to load. But at that point, once it loads, you can play it one time. Let me look back here at the list. We have so many people watching. You guys, this is so freaking awesome coming to hang out with me. All of you guys, I appreciate it. Drop your questions in. Again, we're watching. We're on 11 different places tonight, so I'm trying to see the chat from all of those. So I will not be able to, I'm able to see everybody, but some of you are coming in as Facebook user. So Facebook user says, will you list your pools? Basically, that's it, is the Static City Remix, BPM Supreme. I also do credits over on Club Killers, and it's a weird thing that they're the only ones that do it. I mean, other ones may do that. And again, there are a lot of other ones that are just as good as the ones I mentioned. The ones I mentioned just fit what I'm looking for. But they do credits over at Club Killers to where you can buy like 30 credits, and those credits don't run out. So I've had credits on there for 2 years where I'll just can't find a song on the other two. I'll go over to there, spend a credit, and that. So I put my money down 2-3 years ago, and I'm still able to grab stuff. So Static City Remix, BPM Supreme, Club Killers, iDJ Pool, Deezer are the ones where I grab stuff from. And no joke, if it comes to push comes to shove, and it's really the bottom of the barrel, and there is absolutely no place I can find that has it, but I have to play it that night, I will grab stuff, rip stuff off of YouTube if I have to, and then afterwards go and look for good versions, real versions. I'm not going to lie about that. It's a tool to me that if I can't find it anywhere, and I know this song, people are going to want this song tonight, I'll have it. That's the whole thing. I have to have it, so I'll get it. The Deezer thing, I hope I answered that question there. My laptop's main, but I back up MP3s on a USB drive. Very cool. See what here. Do you know anything about Engine DJ software? Good question. With the new controller that they came out with, right before they came out with the Numark Stream, whatever it is, Stream Pro. I always forget what it's called, and I did a video on it. Mix Stream Pro. Right before they come out with that, Engine software was originally a music management software. They then took that and put it into a better type of music management thing and called it Engine. Now, Engine is in the Prime units, and it has been in the Prime units as a DJable internal software. You could not DJ outside of one of those units with Engine Prime software. They recently, this year, separated Engine Prime software as a separate business of its own. In Music owns all these, and they took it out of the Denon world and made it its own entity. And now it's a full-fledged DJ software. But the bad thing is it only works on Denon hardware. And that's the weird thing that they're still, I know they're going to advance it later, but you can only use the Denon Engine DJ software. I got to stop calling it Denon. Engine DJ software on Denon devices. So I can't put that on my computer and hook it up to the SB3 and mix. I can't. I'm not even sure I can do it on the 7000. I think I can do it on the 8000, on all the Prime units, all in that. So it is different, but it's growing, because you got to remember, Pioneer's Record Box, when it came out, was not a DJ software. It was a music management software. And that's just stuff, again, how these things develop. And like I said, as I know that Serato is working on a mobile version for tablets of their Serato software. Virtual's going to be there. Algorithm's already there. You're going to see, I guarantee Traktor's working on one. I guarantee Record Box, they already have an app that works incredible. It's a really good app, but that can be developed further in the future too. So these, again, I'm trying to keep it on your mind how things change and how you have to be a little willing to try little things. I'm not saying you got to change the way you do things, but just try a little bit. Moving on with questions there. What DJ softwares have the Ask DJ or Genius DJ? Well, those two by name are virtual only. I'm pretty sure Record Box has one that does recommendations, stuff like that. Serato has something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but they have those. Check into those. They're out there. And like I said, if you end up getting the apps that work with both BPM Supreme and with Record Box, you can do recommendations through that app. That's, let's say you're running Serato, you can use this other thing to then do the recommendations. There's stuff that can be done secondary that doesn't have to be done in your software. Here we go. I love Tidal and use it for my bar gigs as a backup for those one-offs. Exactly. That's what it's for. No joke. Somebody at a bar one time come up and asked for Nickelback. And I'm telling you, I ain't got no Nickelback. But I looked at that bar and said, this bar's going to love Nickelback. And went right online, grabbed the Nickelback, played it next. The place went crazy. So it's little things like that, because I don't DJ that kind of music very often, but I knew it would work. So that's what it's there for, is to grab those one-offs. And you can really kind of like, there's nights that I've DJed places where the ethnicity of the room changed. And I tailored it towards that ethnicity. And I literally had people and management coming up and going, oh my gosh, how do you know all this music? And all I was doing was looking at a list and playing it from one of those two online services. And I made the crowd happy. I impressed the manager. And again, these are just tools to make the night work through. Justin said he's showing Serato. No, I was showing virtual. Serato does have that. Record Box has the same, right? I believe so. I'm using virtual. I don't know any other companies. We did that. Will DJ be buying the new MacBook Pro that was just announced? That will DJs? That's a good question, Jimmy Ray. That processor, especially on the Pro level, and it gets expensive, is just crazy how powerful it is. 58 million transistors. That's just mind-boggling. I think a lot of DJs will go for the lighter as opposed to the more powerful, because the lighters are powerful enough. So I think that's where you're going to see a lot of that. That's why I think that the tablets are going to become more of the DJs thing, because this generation, they don't own, if they're not DJs, they probably don't own a laptop or definitely not a desktop. Everything of theirs is mobile, laptops, phones, etc. So that's why I think that is going to kind of go that way. Tablets and 2-in-1s, yeah. Like I said, that's what the one that I had here is that way. It's basically a tablet, a Windows tablet that pulls off the thing and you can run it that way. But there's a lot more out there like that. I just think that that's stuff what people are going to be doing that, We still have some time if you guys have any questions, but I'll let you guys drop the questions in there. But again, I just wanted to put this on your mind tonight about all these different things and why I think it's important to at least learn about them, because it might be something that you never thought of that can help you. Like I said, that little backup now, taking this thing, I had an all-day thing last Saturday, and I threw this in the car, and if everything crashed, I knew I could just go to the car and finish the whole day comfortably. Not even like the tiny thing, because I have that tiny little other one. I have so much equipment here. Yeah, in the studio right now, if I told you what was sitting in the studio right now, some of y'all will be mad at me. There's ones that are like this small, like the Hercules one, but this isn't easy to DJ through the day. That's easy to DJ through the day. So that's what I'm saying is that, you know, these little things can be beneficial to you if you go down that road and make that effort on some of these things. This is what I used to carry, but it's just not really doable to DJ. That SB3 is big enough and has all the tools that I could get through a night of DJing mixing, not just pressing play. Full out mixing, effects, the exact same thing I would do on my full-size controller, do it on that and get through the night. But again, I don't have to carry a whole secondary laptop if I don't want to. I can carry that little thing for an emergency, we'll call it. Is there a software like Serato that you know don't have to purchase additional plugins for karaoke play? I'd like something that will cover the music and the vids. I also saw somebody else put a question about vids. I'm going to get back to the vid question in a second. Virtual, one of the reasons I always talk about Virtual, and when I first purchased it, it was Virtual 7. I hated Virtual 6, hated it. And then Virtual 7 came out, and it was very stable and it just clicked. And that's one of the reasons why I went through it, because when you pay your initial fee, you don't pay anything after that. I bought that, you know, over 10 years ago, and they have not gotten a dime in my money since. I love their stuff. Serato asks you to put extras in there, but that's just the way Serato does. I think they're all going to be pushing to where we're going to have to pay subscriptions instead of a one-time pay. I just think that's the way it's going to go in the future. You know, this next generation is very willing to pay monthly fees on stuff where we would like to buy it once and be done. So that's going to change a little bit, you know. Did somebody up there in the up there ask about where did I get my videos from? Is that where I saw a question there? Let me go back a little bit here. Yeah, Jimmy Ray, where do you get your music videos from? Static City Remix is where I get them from. William says, I think that Numark controller is good for clubs and bars, but most wedding DJs, you need a laptop. I would say that all of them, all of the jobs you announced need a laptop at this point. I would not be, well, if you're doing one style of music, maybe. But bars and clubs, it's kind of open format, even though you might be a smaller genre. I think that thing was intended for beginners, to where they can buy that, start streaming, and DJ right now from streaming, where they don't have to go get a whole, because I teach DJ classes on my own and for Guitar Center, and that's one of the biggest things. The students that I get, what do I do with music? I don't know how to do music. Where do I get music from? What do I buy in music? They don't know because they're new to this. So it has become a way that these companies are bridging the gap for those new DJs to start DJing without investing a zillion things. If you looked at Digital DJ Tips survey for this year, the majority of people who did that survey that identify as a DJ do not DJ out at all. So the majority of people who identify as a DJ buying the equipment do not DJ out at all. They don't all buy the cheap equipment, because I can tell you 2 or 3 people I know who have thousands of dollars worth of expensive DJ equipment that sits in their home, never leaves their home. They play on it, they have fun with it. That's just the way it is. But this, I think, was intended for someone beginning, or as something you can take along as a backup, or something to, that's what they push the Prime Go a lot for, something to set up your sets, edit songs, practice, where you don't need something hooked to it. You can just put it on your lap, click it on, and work your set and practice and do all the stuff you have to. That's what I think that the Numark Mix Stream Pro was designed for, that and streaming, because there is a lot of companies that are pushing very hard towards the streaming technology, because they're, you know, even though most of the a lot of the DJs that, including myself, that's why I say this, that were DJing like on Twitch and stuff aren't doing that now, but there's still a lot of people doing that, and that's still a market. Again, these companies are looking to make money, so they're focusing on what people are spending the money on, and people are still spending the money on this kind of thing. So, moving on down here, agree on the subs. I'm not sure what that is, but throw out your questions there. Still have some time. I know I rattled through that so quick. I know maybe you guys tuned in to hear something fresh and exciting, but I don't feel at this point, as many videos as I've done for Disc Jockey News here, that I have, I don't think I have anything that I hadn't said before, but like I said, that new new one by Numark. Like I said, it really takes the DJ to a different level. I'm going to go back over here in a second, and we're going to go left screen, and there's a lot here to take in, because you got to understand, on that center screen right there, you are doing a lot of stuff there. You're typing your songs in, you're loading them to decks. There's a lot done with that center screen, and that makes it a little difficult for those of us who do stuff on the fly. So that's why I don't think it's going to fit someone who is cracking through stuff really fast. It's going to be someone who has a set loaded in there, and they're going to play stuff in that order. And that has been my experience when I used the Prime 4, is that you are not going to be, at least right now, as efficient typing on that screen, loading songs, as I am on a laptop, where I'm, like, especially with virtual, doing my string searches, scroll, load, side deck, load, mix, scroll, you know, which I'm mixing all night long like that. But I still think it's a good step. I really think that this kind of thing we're going to see a lot more of. Like I said, that Denon kind of had that, and they moved it over into Numark already. I would not be surprised if, and I know I'm going to get some haters on this. Oh my gosh, am I going to get some haters on this? I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Rain mixer next with that ability. And I know people out there who like the Rain are hating on me right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if they give an option for Rain users to buy a mixer that does the streaming and the computerless DJing. Again, it's to each person what you like. Someone in the chat just said they don't like Numark. They are not, in my level, at least a lot of some of the stuff they have isn't as top level pro. And I know for a fact that as the company in music isn't intending them to be high level. But I think they have some potential. Like, they just put out the mix. What is it? The Numark Platinum. What is it here? Is it Platinum FX? Platinum Pro. Mix Track Platinum FX. I think this was it. Yeah, this one here. This one here, I think, has a lot going for it. It has the paddle effects in the center. You get your full 8 pads. I think if they made this a little higher quality and a little bit bigger, this could be a pro level controller if they added a few things to it, because it has stuff that DJs want. But I think that Numark is going to stick with this sort of stuff in the future, where it is not the high over $1,000 stuff. I think they're going to stick with the under 750, under 500, under 250 kind of stuff. And that's good, because there's a lot of DJs out there who need that. William saying as he gets older, he needs a bigger screen. That is going to be another thing that I think is going to be a deciding factor. It's going to bridge people, is that, if you see how small I make mine when I'm out DJing, I have people half my age that go, how can you read that? And I'm like, I can read it. But as people get older, they have trouble with that. So where I may be super comfortable with a 15-inch screen, someone might be going, I can't see a 15-inch screen. I need a 17-inch screen. Or someone else is going, I don't even need that. Just give me my phone. So that's where I think some gap is going to be bridged with the standalones, because you're, like, if you look at the Prime 4, that's a 10-inch screen on that Prime 4. And that's not easy to see for a lot of people. Hold on here. Open this one here. There we go. Open. All right, so this is, wow, that's really kind of large. Hold on here. Left screen. Okay. So this is what a 10-inch screen looks like on a controller. And it's not big. And a lot of people would have trouble seeing it. So that is something that you have to think about, is that as you bridge this gap, is that this type of device, because of its readability, might change certain users' ability to choose to use it. It might not even be a choice for them because of that. So it's each person to his own. DJ Spin loves the Prime 4. I had it in my studio for like 15 or 20 minutes and knew that I did not want it. That's the best thing I can say. There's a lot of things. I think the platters are too heavy. I think that these right here, It's not, again, my opinion doesn't matter. My opinion is just my opinion. If you like it, go for it. These buttons right here that switch the crossfader to the different decks. As I was doing crab scratches and whatnot, I was hitting these and switching them from one deck to the other, and that became a pain for me. So, and it's the same way on their 1800X mixer. I have the same problem with that. The things get in the way. But like I said, to each one their own. For those of you who follow me online, know that I just purchased a 1000 SRT. I have it right here. I got it for a ridiculously good price is why I bought it, because I knew that if I liked it, I got it for a good price. If I didn't, I could sell it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell it because it does not have the things that I need. Pioneer locks a lot of stuff down to be used as hardware only and not software. Things like switching it over to being mono versus stereo, you actually have to go into the sub-menu of the controller, not the program, where you have to hold down 2 buttons, power it up, go into that to turn it to a mono system as opposed to a stereo system. You might ask, why would I want to do that? Number one, so everybody hears the exact same thing. I don't want stereo. 99% of the places I DJ at clubs and stuff are all monoed anyways. But with a device that does not have split ear cueing, I can put that into mono and then split ear cue via my software. So I have to go through extra steps to get these things where another controller would just have a switch like the 7000. I just press and I'm split cue. And if you don't want split cue, don't press the button. And that's the kind of stuff I like. So I'm almost 100% sure that thing's going to be sold soon. But now I know. The next one I'm going to try, I was going to get a chance to try it today, but I didn't get to, is the Rain 1. And I'll be looking at that to see if that's something that I like. One of its downfalls of it, for me, again, each person has to find what works for them. There is nobody that's going to say this is the best controller for everybody. There are a lot of people might like some of the stuff on it. Like, I love the size of the platters on the SRT. Absolutely love it. But there are other things in there that I can't put to use because it's locked down. Like some of the effects, like I run my effects through the software, and I can't make those software effects run post-fader. I can make the onboard effects run post-fader, but I can't run mine. Yeah, if people saying it's just a switch, the 7000 is just a switch to go to mono. But there are little things like that with that SRT that just don't work. I like a lot about it. I like its layout of its faders and knobs. I like that it's 4-channel. I love the platters, but it just makes my workflow that I do every night with the split cue and different things like that. Yeah, you can do 2 cables into one, I know, but again, one of the places one of the places I DJ at on a regular basis has an SRT 1000 in-house. So when you go DJ there, that's what you use. You can't bring your own, you use that. And they have it set up in stereo, not mono. All the wires are already plugged in. You are not allowed to unplug anything at all. So my choice with that is a little bit, I just can't. I can DJ each week there because I have it MIDI mapped to do the things that I want. But to use it every time, all the time, I'm going to wait and maybe see if I can find something else in the spring. But going back to the Rain 1, one of its problems is it's 2-channel, and I've now learned to love stems with virtual DJ, and I control my stems with the outer 2 channels. So the inner 2 are the high mid low, high mid low, and the outer ones are the controls for the stems, and I absolutely love that. So looking at here, it's just like picking a sword. Yeah, it's my battle. So I always tell people it's like buying a car. You know, just because you like a minivan doesn't mean a minivan's going to work for me. And just because I like a truck doesn't mean a truck's going to work for you. You might want a car or an electric car or something like that. So there isn't a wrong to any of this. You just have to find your own. And that's what I'm kind of working through right now in this world of shortage of equipment. Because trust me, there's a shortage of stuff out there. I had a friend that was trying to find EV speakers over the 2 weekends ago and was having trouble finding EV speakers. So there's a lot out there, and I was really happy that about a year ago I found a used 7000. It was the Denon 7000 is what I DJ with. I found a used one, was in incredible shape, bought it for like $320, whatever it is, in the box, still sitting upstairs. I plugged it in, make sure it works, but I'm keeping it so if something crashes, I'm not going to skip a beat. I'm going to be with exactly what I was using, and I'm glad that I spent that money a while back. So, but if you have stuff, take care of it right now because it's going to be hard to replace stuff. So that's that. We're almost out of time here. I thank you guys. We had so many people watching tonight. I think you guys are freaking awesome for coming and hanging out with me. I can't believe that all you guys like to listen to me talk for an hour. But there, like I said, somebody there was talking about the shortage of stuff in the ships. For whatever reason, it's a shortage of. Everybody that's telling me is that you're gonna have to wait till spring. It's even heard through the Pioneer guys that like SRTs and stuff aren't going to be readily available until at least early 2022, stuff like that. So the stuff's there. You might have to. Darrell was talking about the stems on virtual, and again, that's why I like that, because I have my high lids and lows, because I'm a blend mixer. I love to blend, but if I want to drop the vocal out of something and mix out in the middle of the song, I don't have to go do any. I don't have to change things. I just reach up, grab the top knob on if I'm playing the right deck, the top knob on deck number 4's high, low, mid, turn it to the left, and it takes the vocal out of the song. I don't have to go through a bunch of other steps like switching the deck here and doing this or doing. No, it's right there, and that's kind of why I like it. That's my flow of things. So again, it's different for everybody. I know guys that wouldn't use the stems their whole life, and that's okay. That's great. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Last couple of questions before we go out. We're a little early tonight, but there's is Howie doing a thing in the chill out room? If someone can please let me know that, I'll do a shout out for that. Somebody out there is using DJ software algorithms. DJ, I think they're going to continue to grow to be awesome. I think they have a great software. It's different than everybody else's in a small way. It is different to some of the hardware that can run it, but I really think with the way they're putting their game together with all of this, I think they're going to be something that guys, whether if they're a Sweater user, they're going to have Algorithm as their number 2 program. If they're a virtual DJ user, they're going to use Algorithm as their number 2 program. I think it's going to be in everybody's computer in the future. Especially, I think it works the best on Mac. So the Mac guys, I think you're getting the best out of that. But I say keep it. If you like using it, use it. They're going to continue to up it and make it better. I know that company and the way they push with technology, they're going to be there. So, yeah. So anybody, like I said, anybody let me know if Howie's going to do a thing afterwards. I'll do a shout out. I probably won't do one next week, but we will come back on the 27th. I'm not sure if I did a virtual DJ show this month or not. Excuse me. So hit me up with topics you might want for the 27th. And we'll work on this. This is one, like I said, when Numark come out with this, it kind of made me think about how the whole industry's changing, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this show. Because like I said, I've lived through the records to CDs, the CDs to laptops, the laptops to the all-in-ones and the streaming. And as much as you don't think that it is not going to be a part of your life, you give it a decade and a half, and it will be. That's the best way I can tell you. I tried my first DJ computer software in like 1999 or 2000, somewhere around there, and hated it. And here I am today, wouldn't live without it. So, yeah. Oh, Howie's not recording tonight. He's recording on Mondays. Okay, there you go. But you can still stop out the chill room. Basically, John started the chill room back when lockdown happened to give DJs a place to hang out and just talk. It's not like people are going to be DJing there. They just hang out and talk. But if you want to go there tonight, like 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 10, 11, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, a bunch of people jump on there. It is DJNTV.com/chill. DJNTV.com/chill. And you can go and hang out and talk and chill out and, socialize. Because everybody knows how much I love socializing. I'm kidding, but I had to do a lot of it. I did a lot of networking this week, so I think that's maybe why my brain's going, and I think that I may be taking a break after tonight and not doing so much. So, but again, I want to thank you guys. It's amazing the people that will tune in to hear me when I don't even want to hear me half the days. You guys are freaking awesome. If you could click like on the videos, because that changes the algorithm and changes it and moves it to where more people get to see it, and if it can expand and we can get the show bigger, we can get sponsorships and giveaways. I would like to see Virtual DJ sponsor this show, and I would love the ability to give away a Virtual DJ license every week. So if you know anybody that you can, start a what do you call those? Some sort of thing to get them to do that. But like I said, I would like to see the show grow to where you guys can benefit, where I can give stuff away and different things like that. But again, thank you all for tuning in. At the end of my shows, I always try to give you some encouragement, and my encouragement today is breathe. Because today you have today. Tomorrow you don't know. So breathe today and enjoy where you're at. Till next time, Take care and God bless. Good night.